Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the weekly Pocket Ecosystem Call. I am your host, Cryptocorn. Our Lord and Savior, Mr. Jinx, is currently in Korea, where apparently he's done some big and interesting things with Upbit in his latest meeting, and doing quite well for us all there. So, without further ado, I think we can jump in to the Ecosystem Call. It seems we don't have anyone from Grove here. Is that correct? Okay, no Grove, so we might have to change things around a bit then. And maybe we'll start today with Tracy. I know she wants to say a few things. So Tracy, do you wanna kick it off?
Yes, just give me 1 second so I don't have a ton of background noise. Okay. All right, so a couple updates. The validators. The idea was to get them staked relatively quickly earlier this week. However, we have to extend the amount of validators from 6 to 16, I believe, and it requires a parameter change. So just hold tight for the validators. They're coming. Also want to announce there will be a soft launch this week of the docs. Elko has done a great job working on the docs, and we'll be able to put those out this week, probably tomorrow or Friday. I don't think I have any other updates. We have 2 new partners coming on with F-Chains, hopefully this week. Just waiting on them to get them up and going. And I think that's it for me.
Okay, great. I see we have Olshansky on the call. Are you doing the Grove updates today?
Yeah, apologies. I was having some technical issues. That's why I jumped late.
No worries.
What do we cover so far?
We're waiting for you. So jump. The floor is yours.
Oh, perfect. All right. So there's a lot going on, and there's less people to handle everything going on. So today I'll be giving protocol updates, Grove updates, portal updates, all the updates, and I've got some cool things as well to share. So
Great.
On the protocol side, as you guys know, we had a chain halt, we fixed it, everything's going well, everything's improving. The core focus continues to be what we call quality at scale. And that just means unlimited relays from an infrastructure perspective and making sure that we have enterprise grade quality on par with everybody else. This is for everyone who is in office, this is the core focus, and this spans improvements in the relay miners, improvements in path, improvements everywhere. And we're getting some good signals. And this spans protocol and path. On the kind of micro feature side, you guys know we launched Hyperliquid, Unichain, we're looking to DeepSeek. There's a lot of smaller things going on, but I'll dive into those details more so next week. What I want to do for a moment, rather than just giving updates, is for the sake of transparency, I'm going to post a couple images for everybody to reference. So give me 1 second, because I think it'll be fun and I think it'll be interesting. And it ties into quality at scale. So how does that sound, Unicorn? Cryptocorn.
Sounds good to me. Go ahead.
All
Looking
right.
forward to it.
So, okay, I'm going to drop 2 things. And before I share it, I just want to kind of be clear. I expect the first request to be, can we get access to it? Why is this not available? I'd love for it to be available. You guys know infra is hard. We're understaffed. So this is my best attempt at showing something rather than showing nothing. And we'll keep iterating over time. In mind. Say that again?
We'll keep the caveats in mind.
Thank you. All right. So I sent a couple screenshots. And what I want to show is how this ties into the work that we're doing, right? Because we talk about features, we talk about quality at scale, but what does that really mean from a customer perspective? Because that's what matters at the end of the day. So there are 2 images. One has a lot of little charts. One has 2 big charts. The one with the 2 big charts basically shows how Grove compares against Anchor, QuickNode, Alchemy, which are kind of our biggest competitors when somebody's looking for an RPC provider. And our goal here is basically from a latency perspective and a quality perspective to be as good as them. I can tell you we've lost customers because we weren't as good, and we've gained customers because we were on par or better. Right, so no one in the short term, no one cares about the decentralization perspective. In the long term, it's obviously critical. But what this is showing is that the fact that we have a lot of providers is actually giving more uptime. And GetBlock gave us feedback yesterday saying that from a quality to price to uptime to reliability perspective, we are getting much better, and we're nearing the top. So again, this is thanks to the node runners and running relay miners and giving feedback and everything else. And you can see that aside from a couple of blips, we are very much on par with centralized providers. So that's one. And I'm going to keep talking and kind of we'll leave questions till the end.
Yeah.
Number two is the chart with all the little, the image with all the little charts. There's lots of colors. It looks fancy. But why this is critical is if you are a supplier or relay miner and we're working together to stake a chain or anything else and you're hitting issues, we're increasingly getting more and more visibility to identify where is the issue, where is the bug, where is the bottleneck. So is it in path? Is it in Grove's infrastructure? Is it in the relay miner code? Is it on chain? There are literally dozens of places along the way, and every single one can break the entire thing. The weakest link is the thing that breaks your chain. And this is my long way of saying, if we're working together and you have feedback or problems, let's figure it out, because the more visibility we have, the faster we get to a solution and the more adoption we get in the long term. So this week's focus is quality at scale. There's a ton of on-chain features that we will be shipping, that we want to ship to not just improve the product, but innovate from a Web3 crypto blockchain perspective. But we'll talk more about that in a future kind of sync up. That was a lot of info. Even if you had one takeaway and the other 90% flew over your head, I think that's great. Open to any questions now before we keep going.
Okay, great. I'm going to start with one quick question here. Can you give us maybe a very layman's terms understanding of how happy you are with 1.29 and how happy you think you'll be with 1.3 and 1.31 in terms of updates, in terms of getting to QoS and at scale? Where do you see us right now, and what do you think the updates will be?
Okay, that's a good question. I will say what I'm happy about and what I'm unhappy about with 1.29. Let's start. As with anything, you always want to do more and faster, and you always want to ship all the features as soon as possible and get feedback and see kind of what sticks and what provides value. And we could have done more in 1.29, or we wanted to have done more. But the good thing that we did is we shipped everything related to validator staking and reward delegation. And the fact that that's out and it's working is great. We had some minor improvements on the relay miner, and the fact that we managed to stop early is great. The fact that we caught a chain halt in beta and didn't take that into mainnet is great. And things have been pretty smooth since then. So I'm actually quite happy with that release. With 1.3 and 1.31, and I'm not going to go into details around what's going to go into one and what's going to go into the other exact dates. But what I really want and looking forward to is on-chain metadata. What does that mean? It means on-chain APIs. And what does that enable? It enables us unlocking the next step in Pocket Network's possibilities. Any data source, blockchain, DeepSeek, anything else can put their API on chain And then you not only have an endpoint to use, but you also know how to use it, right? That unlocks agents. That puts us on par with what Coinbase is doing with X402. That puts us on par with Anthropic is doing with their MCP registry. This can potentially be a really, really big unlock. And this is very product focused, like on-chain product, not so much quality. But I would love to get it out the door and start iterating on it once it's live, because I think it can create not just a lot of noise in a good way, but also a lot of value for real end users.
And that's going to be in 1.3 or 1.31?
One of the two. I don't want to commit to one because some people are out of office, we're hiring, so there's kind of a few operational things we need to figure out before we commit to concrete times and releases, but one of those two. And as soon as we concretize it and plan it out, I'll definitely let the community know.
Okay, and just to remind us, 1.3 I think is coming out is at mid to end of October, and 1.31 end of the year, early next year. Is that correct?
Yes, that's accurate.
All right, that's good to hear. What's some of these exciting features coming along? And there's a quick question from Crypto. It says, do we support the Hyperliquid exchange APIs or Hyperliquid EVM or both?
Good question. Right now, we just support Hyperliquid EVM. And actually, shout out to NodeFleet. I see them on the call for helping us set this up last Friday. So for now, it's Hyperliquid EVM. I believe I'm not 100% sure. I think we may be supporting the exchange APIs. We just haven't had requests from customers coming in for it yet. And that's how we prioritize it. And something to call out here is there will be on-chain work that we need to do in the future to be able to support both. But for now, it's just Hyperliquid EVM, and it's functional, and it's working, and people are using it.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for our man, Mr. Oshonsky here? Nope.
Okay. And yeah, and since we have everybody here, my last call to action is we have a new Relay Miners channel under the Shannon Note section in Discord, and that's where a lot of the development conversation is going to be moving forward to get Relay Miners up to par, so that it becomes the best, lightest, most efficient performant coprocessor every Web3 node will be running. Hashtag coming soon.
Well, everyone go there if you can help out. I think now we'll move on to the floor is open. Crypto, do you have anything to add to us, or anyone else have any other questions?
Hey, I'll steal the floor for a minute.
Go ahead.
All right, so we're gearing up for a launch right near DevConnect. Currently, I'm aiming for right around the 10th. It might end up being like the 8th or the 9th, or maybe a day or two later, but that's roughly the timing we're looking at for a launch for DD Cloud. And in addition, we have an extraordinarily exciting announcement that we now have an AWS Lambda competitor. Now, it's not production ready, it's not going to come out on this release cycle, but the runtime is now there, it's been implemented, and it is WebAssembly based. So what's really sick is that, depending on how long it takes for your modules to compile, but there's now streaming compilation for WebAssembly. So as soon as you upload your code to any of my runners, it'll be extraordinarily quick to start executing, if you so choose, having both the upload and the execute bundled together. But yeah, we've made some really, really exciting advancements, and that one's going to take a little bit longer, since there's more than just the server side stuff that I have to deal with. I need to make it fairly usable from a user standpoint. But yeah, it's an extremely exciting announcement from our end, and also allows us to, have our code run in more places at the same time without having to, eat up all the compute in our quote-unquote equivalent of the portal.
Well, that sounds pretty exciting. Do keep us updated when it's launched and ready to be used.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Alrighty. Anyone else have any questions? Please speak now or forever hold your peace.
I've got a couple other updates to share that I'll just jump into it. Yeah, but before that, any questions for crypto so that I don't steal the stage yet? I'll give it 3 seconds. Okay. Just because I see Sasquatch here on the call, just something the community should be aware of. We are looking into EVM interoperability. It's something we had a lot of conversations about last week. It slowed down this week, but we will be picking it back up. Okay. I called out Sasquatch and he got scared and went away. But
Scary man, Oshansky.
Say that again?
You're a scary man.
I'm a scary man. No comment for now. We'll save that conversation for another day. But with regard to EVM interoperability, we're exploring things like XLR. We're exploring the Cosmos SDK native EVM bindings. We are exploring what EigenLayer has suggested to us. The original plan was to go with XLR simply because they offered a free integration. Given changes in their operating structure, it is no longer free. So we're evaluating a few things, and as soon as we land on a solution that aligns with how things are done in a standard way, we're gonna move that forward. So that's EVM interoperability. And then the other big one, so pausing that, I'm assuming no one has questions. I think it's just good for context. The other big one is we are hiring someone, and I just shared a link to basically the technical screener part of the interview process at Grove. So if you guys know anyone, send them our way. You know where to reach us. Send them this discussion because it's a very public interview where you get to contribute to open source along the way. And I can tell you, I think I got like 350 applicants on LinkedIn after just having the job up for 2 days. So we're currently sifting through a lot of candidates.
Wow. That's a full-time job and then some.
It is, and that's why that person will be doing full-time work.
Well, yeah, exactly. It just says, watch out for North Koreans applying. So they're particularly good. Ask them how the deal leader is and see if you want to hire them then at half price.
As long as you have integrity and you will be doing the right thing, we do not care where you're from.
We'll be fully decentralized, exactly. Praise the dear leader. And that's not Jinx today. All right, guys. Well, if anyone knows anyone who's interested, please send that link. It's in the chat. The more the merrier. Shansky's 350 people he's got to get through apparently isn't enough, so he needs even more resumes to go through. Yeah, but cool. Great to hear that you guys are hiring and expanding the team. I'm sure you guys need it. That's good to hear. All right. Any other updates from you, sir? Or did anyone else have any questions? I think the floor's pretty open. Alrighty, give you another 30 seconds or so to jump in with any questions or type them in the chat if you want to. There's some interesting updates today, quite a lot going on. Yeah, breezy typing. I'll give Breezy a second to put his comment in the chat. Still typing. If anyone wants to break the awkward silence while we wait for the comment, feel free to jump in.
It's like
That's
good. It's like sports. You know, sometimes you narrate the movement of the ball. Sometimes you narrate a video game. Here you narrate 3 dots.
Moving slowly, left,
Kind
middle,
of
right.
slowly.
We have the comment. Okay, do we have a timeline of when all the components will be ready, path, RM, etc., and traffic starts to cramp up? So I got a call in the middle of me typing. That's why. Supposedly he's not doing two-finger typing. Oshansky, I guess is for you.
Yeah. Well, we're there right now. It's kind of, you know how there's a quote, I don't know who to attribute this to. If you're not embarrassed by what you shipped, then you've launched too late. Am I
The Reid
kind of a
Hoffman
little?
quote.
Say that again.
I think this is the Reid Hoffman quote.
Oh yeah, that's Reid Hoffman. Thank you. So look, do I think the Relay Miner and Path are perfect as they are today? Far from it. Are they good enough? They're more than good enough. I mean, look at those charts. We're on par with centralized providers, and even though we have an extra 10 links along the way. So we are onboarding new chains. We are onboarding new customers. We're reaching out to existing customers, and we're not holding back, right? But sales cycles are long, and there's only so much traffic that can come from independent retail consumers. So we really need to target enterprise. And Fred and Art are working on it. So we're there now. We're getting at more customers, and we're going to make the infrastructure better. But we are not keeping our hands on. We're not keeping our feet on the brakes, for lack of a better phrase.
It seems that 1.29 is good enough. 1.3 would be good, and 1.31 would be great. Is that fair to say, or what do you think?
I think it depends on the perspective of who you're looking at it from. So 1.29 is good enough. 1.30 will be better for the supply side, right? Because we're aiming to reduce bugs, we're aiming to reduce the overhead on suppliers to provide a service. What customers are going to get value from isn't just 1.29, aren't just the improvements from 1.30, but they're going to get improvements from Path. And there we are on a CI/CD cadence where we literally deploy changes every single day. So I do anticipate continual improvements every day since Path is always getting updated. And I do anticipate things to be better for relay miners in terms of resource management with 1.30. And maybe with 1.31, where we're going to get better at handling those session rollover issues, things are going even better further than that. What I'll say is, in an ideal world, there are some technical gaps that we have to really innovate on. In 1.31 or 1.32, if we can fix session rollovers altogether, Pocket Network can become a backup network for centralized providers. So what does that mean? Imagine the relay miner is perfect, and imagine Path is perfect, and imagine session rollovers aren't issues. I'm picking QuickNode as one example. If their nodes go down, they can use the network as an insurance and a backup plan. So to temporarily proxy their traffic to this decentralized network while they figure out their shit. So that is a real milestone that we can hit over the coming months. But there are a handful of things we need to figure out, and that's why we actually are trying to hire more people to help figure that part out.
Well, that's what those 350 job applications are for, I guess. Sounds exciting, though. Definitely, we're on the way to some very big things. Cool. Any other questions? Anyone, please jump in.
I got one more thing for you guys that I forgot about. Not expressly DD Cloud related, but developer DAO related. We are actually doing a DevConnect giveaway on main at the moment. I'll send a link in chat for you guys. But if anyone doesn't have the funding for DevConnect and really wants to go, I very well encourage you guys to sign up for the DevConnect giveaway.
And where is the DevConnect being held?
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Good stakes and good Malbec for everyone who gets to go. Okay, the link is there. And Ramiro, of course. I'm sure he'll be the personal guide for anyone who turns up. There we go.
I will be there.
There's 2 reasons to go then. Okay, I'll give another 30 seconds. Anyone type? We'll give 2 minutes for Breezy just in case. Any more questions? Otherwise, we may have to. That's a lot of good information this week.
All right, let's sync up in the via text in the channels for the call. But thank you for hosting it, CryptoCorn.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it here. Thanks everyone for coming and listening, and we'll same time next week. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.